here's a concept called drop two voicing. And what it does is you're taking a triad voicing, which is called a close position triad voicing. So all the notes are as close together as they can possibly be. And you're taking the second note from the top and dropping it down an octave. So instead of C, E, G, you have E, C, G. You can play it like this too. Now suddenly that sounds big and majestic, almost like a cello playing it. And then you can play those inversions. So E, C, G. You have the third on the bottom, the root in the middle, and the fifth on top. It's nice analyzing the intervals. That's a minor six. It was a major third. C, E. We dropped the E down an octave. Remember, so it gives us a minor six, and then we have a fifth on top. So, and then go up to the next chord tone in each string. So E, G, C, G, C, E. Maybe hard to see what I'm doing here because I'm borrowing, but I'm just playing that. G, E, C, and then these are very pretty classical sounding. They sound really nice when you finger pick them. And then give them a little bit of delicate vibrato. It sounds a lot nicer than just going. Those have their place, of course, but these open voicings. Sounds gorgeous. So you can do the same thing on the next pair of strings. Okay, here I'm taking this C, E, G, and you could take, it's called drop two, but it could also be raised two. You could just take the middle note, throw it up an octave, or down an octave. So instead of playing C, E, G in that close formation, I'm going to take the middle note, throw it up an octave, and now you have C, G, E. So that's a very nice sound. And then go up to the next, keep track of, I'm using the fifth, fourth, and second strings, and going up to the next available chord tone in each string. That's first inversion, because the third of the chord is in the bottom. And then the fifth, the third, root, and then we have an octave higher. Keep going. It sounds really nice when you get to the lower strings. You can start here, G, E, C. It's a second inversion because the fifth is in the bottom. And then root position, we have C, the root, G the fifth, E the third. Then first inversion, E third, C root, G fifth. And then same thing up an octave. So you can, once you learn these, you can crawl up the neck and cross strings, and you go. It sounds really pretty. This introduces another interval called the 10th. The 10th, all it is a third. C, E is a third. Now we're going to take the top note and raise it another octave. So instead of having them cross paths, we're just going to keep the C note where it is. We're going to raise it up an octave. So we have C, move it here, and then E way up here. That's one of the prettiest sounds in music, I think. So instead of playing the root and the third, it's going to call it a 10th, because if you were to walk up the scale, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll call it 8, 9, 10. So a third, an octave higher, is a 10th. So we have C, E. These sound great when you pluck them together like this. Yeah, I can't go any higher. If I had a 24 fret guitar, I could play an octave higher. So. Boy, you really appreciate each individual note and the sweet harmonies they produce. So, and they actually, these two notes can imply a chord. So, and this implies C major, which is the root in the third. Like you don't need the fifth to imply the quality of the chord. And D and F, that implies D minor in a very economical way. You get a lot of bang for your buck. You're only playing two notes. E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C major, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E minor, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C. So now you have two strings in between. The strings are four strings apart. Do the same thing here. C, E, right? You have the root, the third, second, fourth, the third and the fifth, the fourth and the sixth, the fifth and the seventh, the sixth and the root, the seventh and the second, or ninth, and the root 10th. A lot of songs have been written around these, you may recall this one by the Beatles. I don't want to play too much of it as to get into trouble, but he's basically using these 10th intervals in the key of G. So learn your 10ths in G. Here's another way to play it. On the bottom string, and then playing the root in the third, walk up the scale. Go as high as you can go. That's as high as I can go because I would need another fret to go any higher. You do it here. Here's another cool thing you can do is take these tenths and just go up to the next available chord tone on each of the strings. So we have G, B, I'm using a G major triad, G, B, D, G, B, and then go B, D. So this is a major 10th interval. This is a minor 10th interval, just like a minor third. Between D and B would be a minor third. And this is a fourth plus an octave. I guess you would call that an 11th. Yeah, an 11th. So you can do it here. You can do it here. So you're learning all the relationships all over the place, up and downs, across the strings, be able to see the different connections here. And you can cross over to the strings. Do that in all the important keys, starting in C, and then do it in G, and then F is a good one because the F major scale has one flat in it. We haven't talked about flats yet, but the F major scale is F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. All the notes are natural except for B flat. So that's a good key to tackle next. Work on playing the F major scale up and down each string. Go as high as you can go. And then go as low as you can go. Notice I didn't hit the B string because that's an outside note. Remember, B flat is in the F major scale. So do everything we've been doing with your major triads. F is a good key because it's closely related to, as Nigel Tufnell said in Spinal Tap, D minor, which is the saddest of all keys. So we'll get to that minor-major relationship in a minute. Getting back to the orchestral voicings again, a really nice way to run your diatonic triads is to play these open voicings, say in the key of C, C major, C, G, and then E on top. So we're combining a 10th, diatonic 10ths, right, with diatonic 5ths. And then also with 6ths. To get this nice 3-note chord scale, open voice chord scale. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C major, D minor, E minor, F, D minor, E minor, C, B diminished, A minor, G, F, E minor, D minor, C, B diminished, A minor, B diminished, C. I'll play that on the 4th, 3rd, and 1st strings using my keyboard bass note as accompaniment. You find sometimes it's good to go slow like that and really stop and think about everything you're playing, you know. C major, B diminished, A minor, G major, F major, E minor, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C. And something to do while you're sitting around with the guitar on the couch, instead of just playing something noodly and mindless, you can review your triads that way, and it sounds really pretty to arpeggiate them, you know, with pick and fingers. And it's almost like the slower you play them, the more expressive they sound. Give it a little vibrato. Or you could change the pattern. You can go. Something that real musicians and composers do. They rarely just play blah, blah, blah. They'll do some kind of elegant roll pattern like that. So it's a good starting point for composing your own, pretty little pieces. You can go